Are you currently working on yourself, improving your consciousness, your awareness, but someone who is very close to you in relationship is not doing the same? If that sounds like you are in the right place because on this episode, we're going to talk about 3 ways to improve communication with you and any other human you are in constant relationship with at this moment. So, for those of you that know me, I am Leslie Urbis. I'm a registered dietitian and a personal trainer who is authentically working on her selfless overachiever self to wholly embrace who I actually really am at heart. And today I have Dominic to talk just about this. So, welcome to the show. How's it going?
That's going well, Leslie. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, I love this. It took us a little while to get the title, but I think it is perfect in terms of this really does help to improve, whether I'm talking to my husband or talking to anyone else who I co-relate with on an everyday basis, versus when I am handling like a great conversation with somebody who's been in all these coaching programs with me and really working on their consciousness and awareness too. So I'd love to hear from you. Where do we start? If I'm growing and changing, but I'm getting frustrated because someone who's near and dear to my heart doesn't understand what it is I'm doing because they maybe aren't interested or don't want to. What are ways that I can kind of help improve our communication when we wind up in a situation where I'm like, you just don't get it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'd say that the top thing is have faith, and so have faith in the outcomes of your own efforts. So, I I I liken a lot of like the work I do, self improvement, self development, to like just getting in better shape. So, getting in better shape, it's going to be all about sets, reps, and consistency. And the thing is, like you can't do push-ups for someone else.
True that. That's so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, so you can only do it for yourself. So the thing is, when it comes to fitness, no matter what your partner is doing, if you become more fit yourself, the quality of your life is going to improve, like regardless. um and so if we just jump back over to like self-development, if you're working on yourself and you find that your partner isn't, I'd say just have faith, continue the course, because you're what you're doing is giving yourself more resources. You're going to become more capable, you're going to become more patient, you're going to become less reactive. Invariably you are going to become like a better partner. And just through the way these energies work, if you want to have the best partner, one of the quickest ways to get there is to become the best partner, which is, of course, working on yourself and focusing on yourself.
Completely agree. So I'm working on myself and I'm doing the things and I'm sitting there in communication, right, with this person. What are some ways that I can support the conversation in ways that I could have a solid conversation with them if I'm noticing that I might be getting more emotional or more frustrated or more angry?
Hmm. Well, uh, maybe we can focus on, say, top 3 things we can
Let's do
do.
it.
And if that doesn't exactly nail it, then like I of course will have some other things. So I'd say one of the first things is just focus on the outcome. So when you're having an interaction with someone, you're opening your mouth, like you're speaking. It's actually not the safest activity. Like
Hmm.
there's risk whenever you put effort into communicating, saying something to another person, because it's easy to be misunderstood. And so I would say, first of all, and I think all of us have heard in various forms what I'm about to say. If you can improve upon the silence, then don't. Then there's no need to say anything. So I'd say the top thing to do is just focus on the outcome. And so while you're talking to the person, say like, what am I trying to accomplish here? Like I'm putting an effort to speak, to communicate, and I want there to be an outcome for the both of us. And the outcome I want is win-win. So what would be a win-win outcome for us, and how can I use my words to create that win-win outcome for the both of us? I'd say the second thing is focus on the right thing in the conversation. A lot of people, they make a fundamental mistake in communication. They're trying to figure out uh, how to be right, and how to show the other person that they're right, and they're really trying to be understood. They very, very much want to be understood. And I would say let that go, particularly if you find yourself being triggered. And I would say drop more into a place of curiosity. And so I would say letting go is kind of like emptying your own cup out, and just in that place of curiosity, seek to understand what the other person is saying. So, and I'm not saying you have to agree. And remember, we're letting this go. It's just really understand what they're saying. Like, here's a crazy example. A person tells you that, they've recently arrived on the starship from the Sirius system, and, they've been returned to Earth after like 1,000 years of being away. So instead of saying, well, that's crazy, that couldn't happen, forget about it, just say, wow, that's super interesting. Tell me more. I'd like to hear more about that, because the more you can do that, ask, you can understand that person's perspective. And in this, there's real magic here. You don't have to agree. You don't even have to like what they're saying, but you're going to help yourself if you seek to understand what they're saying, get in their perspective. And the other thing I would say, as part of the second one, is focus on connection. And so again, we're letting go of being right. We're letting go of trying to be understood ourselves, and just like, focus on connection, because ultimately I think that's what we're all seeking in conversation. And I'd say the third thing, if you find yourself in this emotional place where you're triggered, and you can't say something that's going to create connection, that's not going to increase your understanding, then I'd say walk away. And by that I mean just politely, gently, excuse yourself from the conversation, and just say, hey, you know what, I'm feeling overwhelmed right now, or I feel like I can't really communicate in this conversation the way I want to, but I realize that this is really important to you, so I want us to come back to it at a later time. And if you can, just set like the date and time for it, so it's going to be upcoming, and then you can leave, and then you can resource yourself the way you need to. I could be taking a walk, breathing exercises, going for a cold plunge, or like whatever. But at least when you're overwhelmed, you don't have to essentially bring that energy to the conversation, which is probably going to create results that you don't want to have.
I love it. I think those are fabulous. And whether you're angry or frustrated or just listening, I think those all come into play, right? In any of those situations. So I think those are great 3 tips to kind of bring to it. And I love how you were like, just let it go. And I could hear other people in my head be like, that is like not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny that that's hard for people, right? When you're like, what do you mean let it go? This is how I'm trained. This is how I was taught. This is how I was meant to be, right? When really it is just the letting go piece. So I love that. So if people are intrigued kind of how you teach and what you do, tell them a little bit about you, about yourself, what you do, and where they can find you.
Let's see. So I'm a relationship coach, but it's full spectrum, like all relationships. So intimate, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband. So I work with a lot of singles. I work with a lot of couples. And I also just work with people trying to have better relationships, say at work. A lot of times, I'm working with entrepreneurs. I'm working with, say, CEOs, business owners, people in senior positions, and also anyone who wants to just have a better dynamic, better interaction, say with their friend group, or perhaps their own immediate family. So the best way to reach me, it's not super complicated. I'm on Instagram, and my handle there is @InnerPeaceAdvisor. And the website, the same, innerpeaceadvisor.com. And I'd say if you want to message me, Instagram, direct message, Inner Peace Advisor, and you'll be able to reach me.
I love it. Inner Peace Advisor. What a great name. So I will have all of those links below. Any final parting words you want to leave anybody with?
Yeah. I personally would like to say to you and to anyone listening, I have really enjoyed relationships that I've had on this planet, within my own family, with friends. Like my friend group, I feel is like spectacular. And when it comes to like intimate relationships, I've enjoyed that as well. And I've also understood a couple of things. So it's taken work on my part. Like it just hasn't been there like forever. But the effort I put into myself has really paid off in big dividends by having these good connections. And I'd say, when you do this, you just create a lot of magic in your life, because the more connections you have, just the more like great opportunities are going to come into your life, say through invitations, get-togethers, gatherings, as well as the intimacy that people would see. So I would say, yeah, work on yourself, enjoy that growth, and just watch the magic unfold as your connections with other people improve as well.
I love it. That's fabulous. And I would totally agree with you. So definitely look him up, Inner Peace Advisor, for sure. And as always, thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we shall see you on the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.